Time now for a look ahead of this weekend's action in the cage. We're presented by Taki Snacks. Face the intensity. The UFC returns with its first pay-per-view of 2022 with a banger of fights, including not one, but two title fights on the line. First one is champ versus champ, friend versus friend in the heavyweight division when Francis Ngannou takes on interim belt holder Ciryl Gane at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. And whether it's fabricated or genuine, both guys have different recollections of what took place during their viral sparring video many moons ago. Both have catapulted up the ranks in the UFC and given us a big-time fight with big guys who move like flyweights. When you look at the tail of the tape, there's not going to be a height advantage when these two step into the octagon, but the 35-year-old champ will have a 2-inch reach advantage and look to hand the 31-year-old his first loss with the company. Let's hear from the headliners, where one is dressed to the nines, the other looking like he just got from the gym.
As I've been saying all week, there is no bad blood between Ciryl and I. I have no personal problem with him at all. But still, we still have to fight Saturday night, and we're going to be there, put on the show.
Ciryl, do you feel the same way about Francis, or is maybe some of the things he's saying in the lead-up getting to you?
Yeah, that's a little bit true. We are together, really excited about this fight, and this is a big chance for our country. I know you're from Cameroon, but it started in France, the same country than mine, so this is a real pleasure to represent our country.
Now, that being said, Francis did say this week that he knocked you out in sparring, and then you went and said that didn't happen. So who's telling the truth?
Can you repeat this, Francis?
You went to the floor, Ciryl, and then you left the training.
So can you explain exactly what's happening?
Oh, you don't remember?
Tell to the people.
Well, left high kick.
Left high kick, and you say you knocked me down?
You went on the floor or not?
I was on the floor?
Oh, you don't remember.
Oh, you're a liar.
So he was knocked out probably because he doesn't remember.
All right, let's wake up with Brian Campbell in Morning Combat, thankfully dressed like Francis and not Ciryl. But we take a look at UFC 270. Look, we've seen the exchange between the two. What do you think of their relationship? How excited are you ahead of this pay-per-view?
Look, this backstory is getting a lot of mileage ahead of this fight, and there's a million reasons why you should love this fight. Do these two really hate each other as former teammates turned foe? I don't believe so, despite the back and forth about who's on first, what's on second. Did the knockdown or knockout in practice really happen? Look, at the time, the brief time that they were quote-unquote teammates, Francis Ngannou had already moved to the United States, had already been in the process of transitioning out of MMA Factory, the gym in Paris, where both top flight heavyweights really became who they are in almost record time, transitioning from backgrounds in other combat disciplines to where they are today. You ask me, am I excited about this fight, or what makes me excited? Everything, Tommy. This is the future of the heavyweight division right here at stake at UFC 270. You may have had bigger fights in the past. Think trilogies with Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic, or Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos. But in terms of prime versus prime, not knowing who's going to win, a little bit of a salacious backstory. This fight has all that and then some, everything you would want. It's a little bit of that irresistible force versus the immovable object. I don't believe the backstory will play much once they do touch gloves. I do believe, though, that both have ways to win this fight and win dominantly. It's going to come down to who can do it. All
right, so maybe we're not going to get maybe Liddell Ortiz type vibes or whatever, but we'll see how it plays out this weekend. You wrote something on CBSSports.com. Speaking of future, Ciryl Gane, what does he represent in terms of the heavyweight division in MMA at the moment?
You know, he's a new creature we've never seen in heavyweight MMA. Let's talk Ngannou briefly. Maybe the most destructive, violent finisher of all time. But if there's any fighter right now that's skilled enough to disarm Ngannou, to go the distance against him, to make him look bad, it's Ciryl Gane. He's the same height as Ngannou. He's built muscularly almost about the same. But what he can do differently, we've never seen in a heavyweight. We've seen heavyweights with good gas tanks or maybe a wrestling background. We haven't seen someone who can avoid getting hit while switching stances, using feints, using angles, and just demystifying you. Ciryl Gane fights like a middleweight in a heavyweight's body. It's going to be the toughest task, the most uphill climb to do what he's done to everybody else against someone as dangerous as Francis. But if he does, Ciryl Gane represents heavyweight 2.0 or 3.0, however you want to phrase it. This could be the future of a more cerebral heavyweight. You've got to be an athlete the level of Gane. You've got to be able to execute the level of Gane. But he's doing things. He's playing a level of jazz, if you're a Miles Davis fan, Tommy, that the rest of us, we can't hear Jimmy. This guy's a special force, which is what makes the style contrast in this fight against the heavy hitter Ngannou so interesting.
It's funny because we all thought Francis was special, then Ciryl comes in maybe a different kind of special. Bookmakers have Ciryl Gane, the interim champ, as the favorite. What's the expert pick?
The expert pick is this. Can anyone survive against Francis Ngannou? You're going to point back to the 2 losses in 2018, the 5-round title loss to Stipe Miocic in his first meeting. It's a different Francis Ngannou since then. He's got major chips on his shoulder. We all know the ongoing UFC contract battle he's going through, the fact that he's been forced to sort of sit around and fight once a year waiting for his opportunity. Well, when he got that opportunity last year against Miocic in the rematch, we saw the scariest version of an MMA fighter this sport has ever produced. I know that sounds like hyperbole, but when you get somebody the finishing level of Ngannou, who also now has added takedown defense, stamina, and a top game with ground and pound, it may not matter that Ciryl Gane does have the potential to throw a perfect game against him, because that's what he's going to need. A perfect game through 25 minutes of hit and not get hit. Do you believe Gane can do it? My money's on Francis Ngannou, who is as confident, as well-oiled, as ready for this moment as any fighter I've ever seen. Ngannou is too scary for you to be able to do this to him for a full 5 rounds. Look for Ngannou to do what he does best, smash.
BC going with the champ, and let's talk about the co-main, the Flyweight trilogy. Brandon Moreno, Deiveson Figueiredo. What's the appetite for this fight, and who do you favor?
You know, the appetite is that we all expect action. The first 2 fights between these two, particularly their first one, which is a draw, were fantastic. The problem, if you're looking for a competitive fight here, are they just going in either directions? Brandon Moreno won the rematch dominantly, submitting Figueiredo, really controlling every aspect of it through 2+ rounds. Does the UFC believe that this first Mexican-born champion Moreno could be a future star? Are they booking this trilogy more for the idea of this is a great platform for Moreno against an aging and exciting opponent to do exactly what he did in the rematch? I believe so. I'm not discounting Figueiredo's danger, but he's 34 years old. He's always had trouble making weight. At this weight class, 125 pounds, 34 is over the hill, unfortunately. Look for Moreno, who's just too well-rounded and too happy, jovial, and riding such a wave of momentum to come over the top in that Southern California fan base and continue to build new fans in Mexico, doing what he does best, fighting an aggressive, fun style.
Quickly, BC, I might have missed it here. Do you think this goes the full round, or how did it end again?
I think you get a finish out of Brandon Moreno. I think Figueiredo's trouble making weight will make an exciting fight. It'll also make it one that ends early.
All right, Brian Campbell, the award-winning tandem with Luke Thomas and BC Morning Combat. They got new shows, do new things, getting new sets. All the swag coming their way. A well-deserved 2021 and 2022 well on the way. On the latest pod, again, talking about Francis Ngannou and Ciryl Gane, the Moreno-Figueiredo trilogy. Amanda Nunes and Bud Crawford, again, MMA, boxing, combat sports, they've got you covered.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.